Y'all, I think I figured out my workflow. Some crazy stuff where I get to combine the MPC, the Maschine, and Ableton together. The best of my favorite worlds. We got the chop and the sample and the best of over here. And then the sounds from here going into Ableton, but also linking together so they synchronize. When I hit play, Ableton, this, that, they talk to each other. I don't have to adjust the sample. I figured it out. Let's get into it. So I'm still wrapping my head around MIDI and how to use it. It's fantastic, but I'm still trying to understand it. So on both devices, both of these devices are standalone, which means they have to be powered up. In order to get the audio to go into Ableton, you have to plug the 1/4 inch output and inputs into your audio interface, just like you would normally plug up any instrument. So you do that first, and then on both devices, you get a MIDI in and out. On the MPC, I have a MIDI in and out going into my Scarlett interface, all right? On the Maschine Plus, I have a MIDI in and out adapter that goes into USB going into my computer. So it's basically that USB MIDI is like a audio interface. Let me show you. Here in the back of my MPC, those are the 1/4 inch cables, the left and right from the main output. Those two cables right here, the red and black, go into my audio interface, my Scarlett. Over here, as you can see in MIDI in number 1, we have the first cable, and then in MIDI out A, that's where the second cable goes. And basically you're gonna plug the in cable into the MIDI out of the Scarlett or your audio interface. And then the MIDI out cable right here in A would go into the MIDI in into your audio interface. Back here, you could see the cables plugged up to the audio interface. MIDI cables are plugged up. I'm not gonna be able to show you exactly, but the connections are in the back, okay? So you can kind of do this with, I guess, any beat machine, I guess. So here's the back of my Maschine Plus. Is the same situation. I have the line left and right 1/4 inch cables going into my audio interface to get the audio. Over here, I have MIDI in and out. This cable here is a MIDI to USB cable. This USB goes directly into my computer, and that's how to set up the hardware. For the MPC software settings, very easy. You're gonna go to your menu, preferences, go to MIDI and sync, boom. You're gonna come down to where it says sync receive, and you're gonna choose Ableton Link. They have off, MIDI clock, MIDI time code, and then an actual Ableton Link, which is pretty dope. And then on Ableton, you're gonna go to your system preferences, go to MIDI, and under input ports, because I plug my MPC up via MIDI to my Scarlett 18IA20, I have to choose to check these points off: track, sync, and remote for input. And then down here, out of output, Scarlett also has track, sync, and remote selected. For the Maschine, as you notice, it says USB MIDI interface. I have it just for track. I think that's all I needed for input for the MIDI. But for output, so they can talk to each other, we want to make sure that the USB interface is also on track. I think I want to have it on sync and remote, but it's been working so far. For the Maschine settings, go to your settings. You're at the top, you scroll over with this, go to MIDI, and there is a link option. First is off, you want to just turn it on, and then you'll be able to see this here, that there. And then on my MPC, I could see that it's synchronized. So whatever that's playing on my Ableton as far as BPM, the MPC and the Maschine are gonna sync up to Ableton. So for an example, in order to hear what's on my MPC or Maschine, you wanna create a new track, an audio track. Choose the inputs of the 1/4 inch cables that's plugged into your audio interface. For my MPC, these are the two inputs and outputs, 7 and 8, so I choose 7 and 8. And then I could create a whole nother separate track. That's gonna be the audio for my Maschine. Obviously, you don't have to do this, you can just choose one for whatever device you're using. But but the audio that's coming from the Maschine Plus is outputs 3 and 4. All right, so we're gonna record something with the MPC. I've got a track ready. So basically, I'm on the track that is enabled. I'm gonna hit this button, and basically, before I hit record, I wanna make sure I hit play on both devices. And what's gonna happen is, as soon as this clock is done, it's gonna just start playing both the MPC and Ableton Live at the same time and start recording. So it won't even give me like a metronome 4 count. It'll just start recording and it'll be right on track. So I don't know if you heard any of that I just said. So on my MPC, I have a track that's isolated. What I'm gonna do is hit the record button and the play start button at the same time, and then it's gonna start recording on Ableton, and it's gonna be on the grid. Wow, technology. And let's say I stop the MPC and I hit play again. It only plays on the one, baby. Again, demonstration, I'm gonna stop it. You see, it's still recording the MPC, but it won't start recording the MPC until it's on grid, baby. It'll save me so much time. I mean, I just learned this week, but I'm gonna save so much time. Now, I have to say I am disappointed about the new Maschine 3 update, but I do miss using the Maschine sound, the sounds, not the software, the sounds. And I just had a bright idea, like, why can't I just use the Maschine Plus for my drum sounds and sync it up to Ableton? Because I can't use Maschine as a software in Ableton. I don't know. Anyways, so let's pretend that you have a dope drum pattern going on in Maschine. Something that you want to add to your beat that you already have. So I have a drum beat. I'm going to hit stop. I'm going to go to the audio track. I'm going to go to the audio track that has the Maschine's audio routed to it, which is this. And just like the MPC, I'm going to hit record and play on this at the same time, and then hopefully they'll sync up. So let's do that. It's working. Okay, it's getting out of control. But yeah. I'm excited. I'm sorry for yelling in your face, but you know, every week I update my workflow. I don't think I'm always trying to figure it out. But this is like a huge moment for me, being able to sync my beats perfectly from the MPC to Ableton and also continue to use my Maschine. I know a lot of people like, are you still using Maschine? I'm just like, I don't know. And then they came out with the update. I was like, I'm not using that. But I still miss the sounds. I miss the expansion packs. I just miss all the dope stuff about it. So I'm gonna use both. I'm crazy. But if you wanna be like me, follow the instructions I sent you. And if you have any questions, let me know. If there's something else I'm missing, I'm still wrapping my head around MIDI. So if you have any questions, drop it. I'm gonna drop the link to the cables and drop the link to the Maschine course. I'm gonna be updating the software, or updating the course about the software soon. And then I'll be dropping an MPC course right after that. Let me know if y'all want to see a studio tour. I've been thinking about doing that, a dual Mac live stream music producer studio tour. Not today, but drop it in the comments. Hit the like button, get it to 3,000, and yeah, love you. Mwah!